Hey guys, it's GameStack Hunter and welcome to my random Craigslist pickup video. I really can't be consistent on making Craigslist videos because Craigslist is a very hard place to get good deals. Everybody either knows exactly what their stuff is worth and they don't want to come down, or they think their stuff is like filled with gold. For instance, you'll find a PlayStation 3 on there with 5 games. Some guy's trying to sell it for $400 because he bought it for $500 like not too long ago. I don't know, but it's really hard to pull those deals. You have to watch Craigslist like a hawk. Pretty much every time I sit down and have an idle moment, I jump on my phone and I bring up Craigslist, or I have my tablet laying around before I go to bed, or I have my laptop when I'm working during the day and I hit it up all the time. And sometimes you have to work people, and sometimes you have to pay attention. If you go down and you've seen someone reposting trying to sell something for a while, you might be able to hit them up and get a good deal. So let me talk about the deals that I got today. One of the deals that I found was one that was 5 hours old, and it was nondescript. It didn't say what it was selling. You had to click on it. I wish I knew what it said. But once I got into it, it said there was a PlayStation Vita for $50. And I'm like, yeah, right, $50 for a Vita. It's either broken or something, you know. But you know, I always hit them up anyways. So I hit the person up, and we started going back and forth. And I knew I was getting a good deal, and I kind of was like, you know what, it's worth the gamble. You know, it's worth the gamble to drive wherever it is to see if I can get a PlayStation Vita, because if I get one, that's a good win, you know, especially for $50. So I'm talking with the person, and I'm trying to close a deal, and I basically say, look, I'll tell you what, I'll make you a deal. If you text me your address, because she said she wanted to sell it for $70 is what she was really trying to sell it for. And I was like, well, I'll make you a deal. If you take the Craigslist ad right now, take it down, and send me your address, I'll pay you $60. And she's like, deal. And I'm like, all right. So she sends me the address. I drive out there. It takes me about, I had to drop my wife off, and then I went and I sat at 7-Eleven, and I sat there for like 20 minutes or something like that. And I'm thinking, all right, you know what, I'm getting trolled, because people will do that. They will troll you. They'll send you on a mission, and you'll go and you'll find nothing, and it'll really suck, and you'll waste your time. Cost of doing business. Don't get mad when it happens, okay? But I'm sitting there, and she's pretty responsive back and forth, but I was kind of starting to think maybe I might be getting trolled. And then the lady shows up. She was walking from her house, so it took her a little bit to get there, and she had the Vita. Now, the Vita's in really good condition. There are some scratches on the back, some scuffs. It's not like mint or anything, but it's in very good condition. And when she handed it to me, it was on, it worked, and it was not the demo unit or anything like that. I've seen them. Let me see if I can turn it on right now. It was, well, it's not powering on right now because the battery's dead. Oh, no, it is. There we go. I guess the battery wasn't dead. I just didn't push the button right. But there you go. There's a PlayStation Vita powering on. It works. I tested it. Unfortunately, there's no memory card, so I'm going to have to order one off eBay because I'm a dum-dum and didn't save one from last time I had a Vita. When I had the Vita before, it wasn't worth $200 to me. You know, the games just weren't that great, and Remote Play at the time was brand new, and I only had Battlefield 4, and I just wasn't into it, so I sold the Vita. But I always knew I was going to get another one. And funny enough, this is the one that is the wireless one where you can put the SIM card in it and do service, but I don't think I'll ever do that. But anyways, so she met with me. I gave her the $60. We shook hands, and I drove home pretty happy. And I don't have the charger. I do have the charger for it, but I have this thing about chargers. They like to disappear into nothingness, and I have no idea where they are. And I looked around for the video to find it, but I couldn't. But you know, I did get the charger for it. So that was my first Craigslist score for the day. And then I was going back and forth on another guy on a PlayStation 3 deal, and he messages me and he's like, you know, he's like, out of nowhere, he's like, are you still interested in the PlayStation 3? Because I was going with him earlier in the week, and I'm like, sure, of course. And he's like, if you can do $130, I'll sell it to you. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. And you know, the ad said PlayStation 3 14 games, and I'm like, well, are you still going to do the games? And he's like, well, no, I can't do the games. He's like, I'm going to need to have some more money for that. And at this point, I'm kind of like really trying to seal this deal, so I actually called him. Sometimes people won't even answer the phone when you call them, even when you're texting and you know they have the phone in their hand. But he picked up, and I'm talking to him, And I'm like, why are you selling the PlayStation? And he's like, well, because I need to pay bills. My car payment is due, and for some reason something happened to him, and actually car payment was being pulled out. And so I'm like, well, you know, so I'm only just getting the PlayStation. He's like, oh, I'm keeping the HDMI cable, by the way. So he's like, but I'll let you have like $10 off. So now we're talking $120 for the PlayStation. And you know, he started listing off the games and everything like that. And I come back at him and I say, I know you want $200 for this, but let me tell you what. Why don't I? The best I can do is $160. I said, if you can do $160, I'll buy your PlayStation and all your games. I said, I know it's a little less than what you want, but you got to consider this. Number one is you're going to be done selling this. You're going to have money, and it's going to be done. I said, if you just sell me the console, then you're going to have to wait and sell the individual games, and you're going to have to meet with 14 different people or whatever it is. It's just going to drag out. And I said, I'll give you $160. And he goes, well, you know what? That's exactly how much my car payment is. He's like, I'm just going to have to go ahead and go for it, I guess. And so I'm like, all right. I'm sorry you're having some hard times. I said, I wish I could give you more, but that's the best I could do. You know? So he actually drove out to deliver the PlayStation to me. And let me show you what I got for $160. Now, it was a good deal. First of all, it's a God of War Legacy bundle in the box. Now, obviously there's no HDMI cable, but it's got the controller in it. Everything works. It's in pretty darn good condition. And it came with no HDMI cable, but I got like this random, like really high quality tethered cable, which I'm gonna keep. And the box is in good condition, everything like that. And I looked it up, and without the games and everything like that, this thing's selling on eBay for about $224. So not a bad deal by any means. Keep in mind, eBay takes 10%, so that's $24. And then I got to ship it, which is going to be about another $10 or something like that. So I'll probably take home, just on this, probably like $180, $190, somewhere around there. Because of the box, I might be able to milk a little bit more out of it and pull out like $200. So not a bad deal. Here's the games I got. Was Star Ocean, Dragon Ball Z HD Collection. You know what's really funny is I've been dealing with these so long that I could pick up a game and I can tell there's no manual in it. Like that's why I opened this just now, is because I knew the manual wasn't in there and I just had to check. Tales of Graces, which is a pretty cool RPG anime game, but not really my thing. I just recently got into Fire Emblem, and that's a fantastic game. So who knows? Maybe my tastes will expand. This is a brand new sealed limited edition Tales of Zilla limited edition, and it retails for like $36 or something like that. Fallout New Vegas Ultimate Edition. I already have this game. Modern Warfare 3, worth about like $8 to $10, something like that. Maybe 12, I don't know, something like that. Crysis 2. Borderlands 1. Borderlands 2. NCAA Football 13. This may be worth $1, maybe not. I mean, it's very rare that I come across a non-Madden game, so maybe it'll hold its value a little bit more. And it's 2013, so, or at least it's for number 13, so maybe it's worth something. Gran Turismo 5, which is a really good game, but I already have it. And I have the prologue one, the little demo one they released, whatever it was. Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Not a big fan of this game, and let me tell you why. It's because I waste too much time playing this game. I really do. It's a time waster. You don't accomplish anything. You don't get an end result with this game. I mean, yes, it has a campaign, but who plays a campaign? You know, one of these days I'm going to go through all the Call of Duties and beat all the campaigns at some point. And then we have Final Fantasy X2 HD Remaster. And I have Final Fantasy 13 and 13-2. But I don't have this one, and it's on my list, so this one's going into the collection. And then we have Soul Calibur 5, and that's going into the collection as well. It's the limited edition. I believe that there's a sleeve that goes across it, but not a big deal. I mean, I wish I had the sleeve, but still pretty cool. I like Soul Calibur. Sometimes I like to play it. I got an arcade stick, and I really like to play it with the arcade stick. It's just a lot more fun. So that's what I got. And lastly, I'm going to take a moment. Oh, by the way, so I kind of did the math. And before eBay gets their cut and shipping and everything like that, I think I'm going to make, because I looked these games up, I think I'm going to come out $400 back, not including how much I paid for the game and everything. So we're probably looking at like, I think like $200 to $250 worth of profit off of that all by itself. And then there's no profit on this because I'm keeping this until a better Vita crosses my plate. And then the last thing I wanted to tell you, since we're on the subject of Craigslist, I wanted to play Rocksmith. So I was looking for a guitar, and I've always loved Les Pauls. You guys might have caught a glimpse of my Les Paul in maybe some of my videos or something like that. But let me show it to you. This is my Les Paul, and it's really, really, really good condition. It's a real pretty one. I play Rocksmith with it because I used to play guitar when I was younger, but I never really learned to play guitar. I just kind of like taught myself. And I thought I was alright with the guitar, but Rocksmith has taught me a lot, and I've gotten a lot better at the guitar. Now, it's not like I'm going to bust out and show you, because that's not my thing, but if you've ever been interested in learning playing the guitar, Rocksmith, I have Rocksmith 2014 with the cable. It actually teaches you to play guitar. It has a 60-day challenge, and you can go from like not being able to play at all, like knowing nothing about a guitar, and in 60 days you can play like you've been playing for years. So if you're ever interested in learning the guitar, you can get a cheap guitar on Craigslist, and or whatever. It doesn't have to be an amazing guitar to start out with and learn. So I highly recommend it. But what I wanted to say was, I got this guitar on Craigslist. And what happened was, when I go on Craigslist, I type in, under the main thing, I type in PS3 or I type in Wii. Because you have the barter section, you have the electronic section, and you have the video game section. You never know where people are going to post that stuff, because some people that really don't know about video games, they post in electronics. And then you have the guy who just wants to trade his PS3 for something. So I'm looking through, and I see this Les Paul guitar here, and the guy basically wanted $450 for it, or he would trade for a PS3 with a few good games and at least 2 controllers. And immediately I saw that ad, I immediately jumped over to the video game section, and I started looking through the ads. Well, I found a PS3 in the video game section. It had, like, at the time, it had like Black Ops 2 and like probably like God of War. It had like 5 decent games. Uncharted. They were not the cheese games. They were good games. And so I emailed the PlayStation guy, and I'm like, hey, I start texting him. I'm like, you still got the PlayStation? He's like, yeah, I do. Like I said, all right, I want to buy it, because I would have bought it no matter what. It was $120, and I think it was like, it was a slim. I think it was like a 300 gig drive or something like that. It was a decent deal for what it was all on its own. And then I immediately text the guitar guy, and I'm like, hey, I got a PlayStation. I want to trade you. And I even took the picture from the ad and sent it to him. And he replies back, and he's like, I'm interested. So I'm like, all right, I got to run an errand, and then I'll meet you. So I went, and I bought the PlayStation from the guy for $120. Made sure it worked, checked it out. And then I immediately got in my car and met the guy with the Les Paul in the parking lot. And I showed him the PlayStation. We talked about it for a few minutes. He showed me the guitar, and we traded. And I even got a guitar stand for it. And there was no case, but it was a guitar stand. And he had picks and stuff like that as well. So that's how I got my Les Paul, in case you see it in the background or something like that. And I love it. It's a beautiful guitar. It's something I've always wanted. And playing it on the PlayStation 3, which is like a video game, it kind of like the best of both worlds, I guess. And then one last little random thing. I forgot to show you guys this, but on my last garage sale, I had this set aside and I forgot to mention it, but I got this at the last garage sale find as well. And I got it for free because I hit the lady at 5 o'clock and she was boxing up. And I happened to walk through, ask her if she had video games, and she's like, no. And I'm like, hey, what about this right here? And she's like, you can have it. And I don't know how much it's worth. I didn't even bother to look at it yet, but it is a little Fender amp, and you can plug into it, and it has a battery, or you can get a DC thing. And I'm sure it's not going to blow the doors off. But all I have is the PS3 and my TV. So now if I just want to sit around and just monkey around, I got this at the very least. But what else is pretty cool, though, is it does have a headphone jack. And I'm going to go with the assumption that if I plug my guitar into this and then I put the headphones on, it'll probably sound a bajillion times better. So that's the last little thing. Anyways, if you're going to look on Craigslist, be diligent about it. Jump on it. make sure that when you're talking to someone, always ask them, if once you know you're getting that deal sealed and you're ready to go, ask them to take the ad down. They will do it. They don't even question it. They're like, okay, I'll take it down. Because the last thing you want to do is be halfway there and have them say, hey, someone offered me a better deal. I've had people do that before. So make sure you have it shut down. If you like my Craigslist video, please definitely do a like and subscribe, because I do have other stuff for you to see, garage sale stuff and everything like that. Anyways, I hope you have a really good week, and I'll see you guys next weekend for my garage sale video.